So, Streamer Games happened last month, and during one of his classes, Ludwig said this.
How do we help ourselves get a successful YouTube video? Y'all, steal that shit.
And I think that is absolutely disgusting. I mean, stealing? Who would ever do such a thing? Anyways, so today I am making cute characters based off oracle cards, which is inspired by LavenderTowne. The first card we have here is the Fool, which is new beginnings, innocence, spontaneity, and a leap of faith. So originally when I was designing this character, I really wanted this idea of freedom and really honing in on that leap of faith idea. So I really wanted to have a girl with these wings for arms, but it just wasn't really working out. I ended up deciding that what is the epitome of innocence and spontaneity and having your whole life ahead of you than when you're a childhood. So I decided to turn the Fool into a little girl playing on a swing. I really wanted to include as many details from the card into these designs. So I gave her a dog. I wanted to include the water that was behind the Fool on the card. So I added a little puddle, and I was really inspired for this entire design by these cute little rain boots. The guy in the card has these like yellow little socks, I guess, and I really wanted that to be a very important focal point of her character, and I just think she turned out so cute. I don't really know why I colored and shaded it this way. I literally never done it this way before. I think because I was doing it for video, which is also something I've never done before, I thought that this would be more simple, I guess, but it was a little bit hard to get used to and make look exactly how I wanted it to, but in the end, I think we kind of got there. Next, we have the Tower. Now, a lot of people think the Tower is a really bad card, but in reality, all it is just showing that a big change is coming up. So a lot of the time, it's light bulb moments, it's realizing what direction you want to take your life in. So a lot of the times, it is light bulb moments, it's breakthroughs, and unexpected change in your life. So the original design I had was this girl, she had braids that were shaped into light bulbs, which made me think about this specific artist. Her name is Letitia Kai, and she creates hair sculptures. So she creates all of these different shapes and art out of her hair, which made me think of how this character could sculpt her hair into these light bulbs. In terms of the outfit, I wanted to go a little bit more directly from the card, a little bit more abstract as well, so I gave her a skirt made of the dust, if you will, and her bodice area, you can see little windows going into her body, much like the Tower, and I gave her a little capelet, which is reminiscent of not only the curtains that are within the Tower, but also the robes on these people that you can see on the card as well. I was originally going to give her some goggles because I really wanted there to be something else on her head, but I ultimately decided to go for a crown that also resembles the top of the Tower on the card that you can see there. I just think that the goggles kind of mixed aesthetics. And then of course we had to get the lightning in there. Arguably it is the most important part of this card. So I tried to incorporate it with the idea of the light bulbs as well, having it be electricity, energy, and I wanted her to be harnessing that power. This is definitely my favorite out of all three. It's the most different from what I usually do. The lighting is definitely something new, especially it being backlighting. The ring light around her, I think, adds so much to it. And then the text, I think, also adds a lot to it, and I've never done any of that before. So I was pretty proud of this one. And last but not least, we have Justice. Now, Justice is pretty much exactly how it sounds. It represents law, represents truth, fairness, pretty much just trying to keep everything in balance. Going into this, I knew that I absolutely wanted to have her wielding a gavel as a hammer weapon sort of thing. And I knew, I did it wrong here at the beginning, but I knew that I wanted her to have the striking block as a shield. And I also knew that I wanted her to be wearing a dress made out of, like, bills, essentially, out of paper. I had seen it so clearly, and I thought the idea was so cool. And then really wanted her to have the scales of Justice over her buns and her hair. I thought that would be so cute. And then I gave her a little bit more muscle than the other characters, because she's got to be swinging that gavel around all day long, so I'm sure that it probably builds up some strength there. This is where the coloring all on one layer that I was talking about earlier really messed me up, because like having to go through and meticulously color every single ring of chain was so annoying. So if I ever do this again, then obviously I will go back to the way that I usually draw. I also added a paper texture here, which I think pushes this look so far beyond what it was before. And here they are all together. I love them so much. I'm so happy. I hope you like them just as much as I do. And I just want to thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again. Bye!